good to be in the seat.
COVID ran its way through the household again somehow.
Fighting the second case of COVID, currently fighting every allergy, getting beat down.
It doesn't help when you go out to the fields either and start kicking around in the elements that will take you down.
Yeah, well, the heat, the pollen, the grass. I mean, everything is an enemy out there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a little minute for us, obviously.
Yeah, I had to beat the case of my second round of COVID.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but we're good. We're here. We're healthy.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those episodes where we have a lot to talk about, which is good. We can obviously get into the Open Cup, and then more recently we just had the Columbus game a few days ago. But NYCFC is still smooth sailing, and there's nothing really to be worrying about at this point, but there's a lot to celebrate and
I mean, I was worried for a
analyze.
Second. And I guess in the way that a very wealthy man worries about money, I guess. It's like we went and scored 14 in 3 games and then had that dud of a 0-0 draw. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there was some whispers on Twitter of like, oh no, are we slowing down?
Yeah, and part of that was because we didn't have Taty, obviously, and like
that was huge. Yeah,
when you lose the Golden Boot, you're gonna have a worse offense for sure. And unfortunately, we couldn't get a goal against SKC, and it hurts because we just saw Portland. I think it was yesterday or the day before, put 7 on them, and it's like, how could we, as what I would consider the most prolific scoring team in the league, not do something of that magnitude against a team like that?
You said it. We didn't have the most prolific scorer in the league.
Yeah.
On the field. You could literally do probably a 17 to 18 minute montage of us last season saying that if Taty's not in the team, we're not winning, we're not scoring.
Yeah.
It's simple.
And I thought we were past that for sure after, all the games. I think we threw up the different stats of the players that have scored and all the goals we had and the assists. And we can flash that tweet on the screen, but it was like, I think Santi scored, Thiago scored, Gloucester scored, Keaton obviously had his 2 goals. GP is becoming this monster of a player and now has seen a few starts between the Open Cup and this game against Columbus. So I thought for sure going into that game, it was like we shouldn't have any issues really.
But the thing is that
Tales,
that man,
he's possessed right now.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like it all stems from Taty in some way because he does so much on the ball, off the ball for us. I mean,
he pulls defenders.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. So, a large amount of it can be chalked up to not having Taty, but I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to score goals. I mean, if we were tired, I understand, but there was some concern going in, to these past 2 games, but I knew. Coming off a 0-0, facing, no offense, but it's an MLS 2 side.
An MLS
it's
team.
Like, so, and
it's not. I mean,
I didn't expect them to roll over, in which they didn't. I thought that they performed pretty well.
No, in the opening, 30 minutes, half of that game, we were on our back foot 100%. Like, if these guys were an MLS team, like we had 3 on our heads within, I think, the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we did the thing where we played to our opponent,
And it wasn't a full-strength team either. Obviously, Ronnie is using NYCFC 2 at his disposal for these club games, which is good. That's what you should be doing if you have a second team.
I mean, we had a striker at left back. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a weird thing to see. But I mean, at the end of the day, we got the job done. We scored some goals. The highlight for me was Maxime with the header goal.
Chanot.
Then he just rips it off and throws it like a savage. I mean, dude, what like that energy, do you think he's going to even wear it going forward? I
don't know. He caught a bow at one point in the game, and he was like so beside him, like so angry. And like I don't even think the guy got carded, but Chanot was just like, how can we allow this to happen? Like, do you not see I'm actually wearing a mask because of that?
It's happened a few times to him. That's what sucks is he's been literally intentionally hit multiple times this season.
And it's for him, like obviously it's got to be pretty scary. I don't know if you saw the stuff with Glenn where he sat down and had a conversation with Chanot, but I think Chanot said Well, first off, when that happened in his international play, he did not, or they didn't allow him to like leave the country because they wanted to get him like immediately worked on, because he lost full vision.
Yeah.
For like 5 to 6 days, and the doctor was like, "There's like a 50% chance that you can see again." Like.
Yeah, that's insane. It's super scary. And so, yeah, obviously he's going to be
when somebody puts an elbow on your face again.
Yeah. I think the announcer might have said, like, oh, he's going to be wearing that mask for a little bit longer. And it's like, I think that's going to be his career. Like, I think he's just going to always have a face mask on.
I mean, yeah, if now you're super aware that something like that can happen, like, why would take a chance? Yeah. And it seemingly isn't going to affect his game.
Chanot is
yeah.
I mean, he might be Batman. He could be. He could be.
But yeah, I mean, he gets his goal, and then for me, I think the highlight was the opening goal from us, which was GP playing an absolutely insane ball to Thiago, and he like hits it right on the volley, right past the keeper. And now I'm not thinking, this isn't a, I don't know. I was gonna say this isn't a Matt Turner or a Stephen Fry that we're playing against. So like, the guy didn't have much of a chance to save it.
You just named two men that we created.
I know. That's why I caught myself. And then we see that with Heber's goal, which was got to be the worst moment in that guy's career to have that scored on him. But it's good to get Heber on the sheets. 0.5
points in the morale section of attributes. I mean, to me personally, I wouldn't even consider that a goal for myself. I would want more than that.
I'm sure Heber feels that too.
I would be mad that that's like something that people are clinging on to.
Yeah.
Like I would have a fire in me to prove that I can do more than just be on the lucky end of a knockabout.
And the thing that we can, wrap up the Open Cup is talking about how we almost fell apart at the end. Luckily, not in the way of giving up any goals, although, there was a chance or two there that were scary. But yeah, GP going off with a red, I would say that probably definitely affects the next round. The way that he's been starting
we're probably gonna have to league. Pull, like a stronger team.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's going to be the Revs too.
Yeah. And so...
And then Zelalem misses his pen. We were just talking about before this, like, I'm not sure how Zelalem was even in the position of being the guy that took the pen. There were a lot of other first-teamers on the team. Like Santi was on the team, or on the field. So I would have personally probably given it to him.
Trust in Ronnie, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we got
or whoever the captain was on the field.
Yeah. I mean, it was a one and done, and we got the win, so it's on to Revs, and people are pushing the NoCasaClassico on Twitter.
Which is it's pretty funny.
I like it.
It's funny.
And there's talk about whether or not us and New England are a rivalry. And we discussed that a little bit, and, like, I'm not really sure where I lie with it. I mean, I definitely don't like them.
I feel like it's more of a rivalry than us and Red Bulls. Because that one was just kind of forced due to
regionality. Yeah, and like both teams typically have to show up, at least recently, to like make it a fun rivalry, and we haven't gotten the chance to play the Red Bulls this year. And I was really hoping that the Revs matchup was going to be the Red Bulls, but I mean we've had some wars with the Revs at this point, and ones that we were at, the playoff game at Gillette that we went to.
Yeah, that one was a roller coaster.
I mean, it's moments like those that do actually build rivalries, and we've had a lot of them. So I don't know. I feel like yes.
Are they being renovated out of their stadium right now? I know they're renovating Gillette. I don't know if they're being renovated or not.
I think they're in the same new stadium plan as us, and they have been for like
a while,
20 years. I think a screenshot of like a article from like the 2000s went around Twitter like a week ago.
It was like new stadium coming soon.
Yeah, Garber said, I think he said I would be shocked if they didn't have a stadium in 5 years, and that was like 10 years ago. So,
I mean, we're getting there. Hey. It's kind of like when I make fun of Matt for having one title in 30 years, and we're approaching like 20 years. It's like, bro, it's getting a little close.
We're right there. We're right there with them. But to focus on, what just happened, we had that Columbus game.
A lot more fun than the 0-0.
Yeah, and I feel like it was one of those games. It's like a grind 'em out win, and we've talked about like last season. There's some of those games where like it's not going to be the prettiest win. Although we had 2 goals that were really composed from 2 strikers that are super important to us, but like aside from that, there were some sitters that Columbus could have put away.
There was some. Taty should have 4 goals.
And yeah, there were some sitters that Taty could have put away. And there's just games like that where when you play, a roster like that with Zelarayan and everybody else that they have from the Eastern Conference, where those are the ones that you have to pull points from, because you're not always going to get points from those type of teams.
And not give opportunities like free kicks to Zelarayan right at the edge of the box. And, little mistakes like that. But I mean,
I have PTSD from Zelarayan.
Yeah, when I saw him line up, you see the fear in Sean Johnson's eyes. And you're like,
well, he had 2 or 3 opportunities this game, and like in past games, he literally I think scored 2 free kicks in one game on us.
Back.
Yeah,
no, he literally went back to back on free kicks on us.
Yeah, so when you have men like that, you can't really be stepping in the way that a lot of our DMs like to.
I learned something about soccer though. I think we both did. Mm-hmm. That there's this rule that if you are within your own half, you cannot be offside. Yeah. Regardless of anything, apparently. That's insane.
And I do not feel that bad that I didn't know that, because seemingly the Columbus defense had no clue. They had absolutely no clue that was a rule, because Taty was like 10 to 15 yards maybe, like ahead of their or behind their high line. Yep. And like Keaton, I'll say, I think he was without Keaton in that play, there's no chance that we even get the opportunity to try to score something there, because he makes a solid interception and does the perfect thing that he can do, and he hands it right off to Maxi. And Maxi obviously...
He's got the vision.
Yeah, it has the vision and the skill to place that right on a sprinting Taty.
Know the rules, both of them being in sync with knowing the rules. Maybe it's something that they saw in film, that they've done this before on corners.
Yeah, I think people were saying that that's typically like a big part of Columbus's tactics is to play like an extremely high line. It's like, hey, that's good to know, and maybe that's something that was talked about with our boys.
No, it had to be for them to both be on the same page at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like it had to be talked about. Yeah. It's really important for the team to have something like that happen, where you highlight something during the week and you actually go out and execute it like to a T.
That's the type of stuff that gets players bought into a system.
Absolutely, yeah.
When Ronnie stands up there and he says...
Or to a man, or to a coach or manager or whatever.
And shout out to Taty for putting that away. I think...
The first touch really is what set him up for it. That was disgusting.
And right after it goes in, Ian mentions that, those don't always go in for Taty. Yeah. He has a lot of these one-on-one opportunities where he has a chance to, put something away, and that's what you have to do. Literally, you have to do that if you're going to win a Golden Boot. When you get those one-on-ones, when you're alone against the keeper.
When you're looking to go back-to-back.
It has to be put in the back of the net.
Every single time.
And, we saw in games earlier this season, more so against Seattle, I would say, in the CCL, but a few times where Taty had those one-on-ones and it didn't end up in the back of the net. And same thing with Tales, who ended up scoring his goal as well, with just a keeper to be at that point. And, you have to finish those if you're going to get 3 points off good teams, and if you're going to challenge for that Golden Boot if you're Taty.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3 off of it. We've got Chicago next.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we're going back to Citi Field in that one.
I'm just saying... He's a hat trick away, and we are playing Chicago. Yeah. Early predictions.
Slonina's no slouch. Let's just say that.
Early prediction.
I don't want to, or I'm self-handicapping here.
Taty to tie the Golden Boot versus Chicago. And then I get to use his team of the season in FIFA in about a month.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that sucks is the other guys have to also not score that week. But, like... it's not any big names up there. You're right. It's just like Chicha and
it's just Jesus Ferreira.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a different man possessed.
So
that's Austin FC, right?
FC Dallas. Oh, close.
Austin FC though is right up there with that one guy.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Their new guy. He's wild.
Driussi.
Shout out Stuver for leading that team from the back of the goal. I love to see these.
I love Stuver.
I love these pigeons spreading their roots out across the MLS and showing that they came from a good program.
You got Diego Fagundes, who's leading assists.
Mm-hmm.
Nope,
it's early.
That's a different green team.
It's early.
It's early, but I want Taty back up there, especially say I need to use his card in about a month. So
he'll get there, and I think we'll have other people that are going to be higher up in the standings than we've had in the past when it comes to goals, because we obviously last season were pretty much a one-man show with him, but we can talk a little bit about Tales. I know even before we hopped on the mics, you mentioned how he's in form.
It's his movement is so hard for any defender to keep up with. Like, he's just too quick, he's too shifty, he's so creative and imaginative. Is that even a word? Maybe I made it up.
I think so.
That sounds it, right?
Yeah, and he has the skill moves to match, and he will make you look silly. He will make somebody look silly once a game.
Like, his goal versus Columbus just looks so silky that it's like, it's hard. You don't really see movement like that in the MLS that often. Because typically you have like some 32-year-old that just takes your legs. So it's fun to watch. It adds a spark to the team. And he's literally one of the 3 to 4 that we could throw out there and score a ton of goals.
Yeah, I think it was Christian that posed this question on Twitter, but he said, let me find it here. I think he said, when it's all said and done, who do we think is going to end up having the most value or the higher ceiling between Tales and Taty? And my first thought was that I'm a Taty supporter in that, but then my logical brain started to think about how Tales is 19 years old.
Yeah.
And Taty, I think, is 23.
I don't know.
And it's hard to know.
I feel like a Brazilian has value everywhere.
And he has 4 years on him.
Yeah, and with Argentinian players, you see specific markets and teams kind of shopping for that type of player. And I think everybody in the world wants a Brazilian on their team. Yeah. So that combined with his age, I think he'll have the highest value in terms of like transfer fees.
Yeah, eventually when he leaves us, because the time will come. But
but I think Taty all time is going to have more goal contributions than Tales at the end of each of their careers. But I think it's almost it's like Ronaldo and Messi conversation. It's like, who's the creator? Who's more of a creator? Who's more of a scorer? Yeah. You got Tales, he's more of a creator, and he can score. Yeah. Taty's kind of like the scoring machine.
It is an interesting thought experiment to think about how Tales is only 19 years old when you see a lot of the sitters that he misses, and it does happen. It's at least once a game. Sometimes
happens to the best.
More
of us.
Than that. Yeah,
happens to the best. Of us.
Cut to our highlights today from playing soccer.
Jeez.
If we ever showed anybody any of those, they'd be like, "Yeah, you can't talk about."
Yeah, why are you talking about anybody missing sitters?
You can't talk about professionals anymore. God. There's nothing that you guys can bring value to, because
I'll just say Adam played a ball from maybe 15, 20 yards away, and directly to my noggin, directly on my head, and all it did was smack me in the face. Yeah, it went into the net ultimately. So
happens to the best of us.
Knocked me out.
But yeah, it'll be interesting, in many years from now to see how Tales has panned out, and really a lot of these young dudes on our team, whether it's Santi or GP now, I think is maybe the most exciting for me.
Yeah. Taty's going to score the most goal contributions
between
them. Yeah,
between all of them.
Yes.
Okay, that actually is a bold take.
Yes.
I think with Santi being in that group of players we're talking about, I think that becomes a very bold take.
I think it's, I believe it's very possible that the World Cup that's in America, you're going to see all 4 of those guys being included in being a part of those teams, a part of those national teams, and putting up contributions in big moments. And they're all going to be from NYCFC.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. And we're going to be able to watch in person.
Yeah.
And maybe flash some NYCFC merch and get their hearts thumping.
Yeah. And hopefully get some signatures or something before they take off.
Yeah, get the ones before so it's actually...
so it's possible to...
It'd actually be cool to get... I could show this.
Get a few on there?
So to get this and just bring in and get it signed by whoever, right near their picture.
If we could get a few on there,
that'd be pretty cool.
If we could get like Taty on there, if we could nab a Collins, a Chanot, a Tales.
I mean, I can take it with me on vacation back home to California and get the roach while I'm out there.
I guarantee you could literally maybe just like shoot him a DM like, hey bro,
hey, you want to meet at
the golf course?
Oh
or something?
My god, we can meet at my favorite taco spot.
Yeah, I really think he would show up.
No, genuinely, and he would have. I mean, you literally experience the best.
Let's try to have him on the show, and then we'll pose that to him.
Yes,
it's
the same taco shop that was featured on Tosh.0, so it's famous.
Yeah, well, I feel like.
I think we're tired.
Plans are in motion.
I think we're tired and mumbling at this point.
We're deep into the episode, and obviously we've covered a lot of analysis on a few of the games. And upcoming, we have Chicago, as you said, another home game. I don't know how we've had this many home games in a row. It feels potentially illegal.
It's because we were on the road for so long.
That's true.
In every single competition that we were in, we were on the road for so long.
But it's good to know I think we're 3 points from anybody else in the Eastern Conference in the table.
On less games.
And in most of them, we have 2 games in hand. But in, I think, all of them, we have at least 1 game in hand. And that's the defending champs, baby. I mean, what else do you want to say? 3 points back, and some would say that means it's in our hands at this point.
I haven't made a prediction on this show for a long time. It's been about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say Taty hat trick against Chicago was like
but this is just
11 minutes ago.
This is just me doubling down on that. It's going to be 3-1 NYCFC. Chicago scores first. Taty hat trick to come back.
And we do not turn Slonina into the World Cup goalkeeper in that game.
Correct. Chicago is going to score on a corner.
All right.
That's very specific.
We'll see if it happens.
So,
I think that's it.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Find us everywhere that you find a podcast. If you made it this far, follow us on Twitter. Come talk to us.
Sub to the YouTube. I think we're single digits off of 100, so that would be quite a milestone for our first big milestone. So
if you're the 100th, we'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just screenshot it with 100 that you just subscribed, and we'll send you a sticker.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys next episode.
Peace.